Ethan, Micheal, you ready for this?
Oh my God, I am. My palms are sweating.
Hello and welcome to Talk Heathen! Today is January 10th, 2001, Season 5, Episode 2. I'm Eric Murphy, and with me today is Ethan Micheal. How's it going?
Dude, as I was just saying, my palms are sweaty. I am so nervous, but I am also beyond excited because it was just a year ago that I called in and I was a caller on the show, and now I'm doing the show with you. Like, dude, this is...
Well, I mean, so in the last year, I've been watching everything that you've been doing, and you've been putting out content like crazy. You've been building community. You started your own call-in show in the mornings with our own Jenna Belk. You've been getting so active and promoting so much when it comes to building this atheist community, talking about it, being kind and gentle. Your style is just you're a positive listener, and I appreciate what you're doing. And now you have a year's worth of content that we can point people back to. So Ethan, you've earned it. Welcome.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, there is a lot of content. I do a variety of things, and I am truthfully, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. I really never imagined being here. Like, to give you an example, when I was like at a lower part of my life, all I had once a week that I looked forward to was Talk Heathen and AXP. And I was always like, before I die, I have to meet these people. And the fact that I'm working with you all is like, it still blows my mind. I'm like, dude, is this actually happening right now?
Yeah, you got our phone numbers, man. You call us, we talk. It's been good to get to know you. Before we dive into any other announcements, we do have a really important announcement, and so I want to make sure that we get this up and as out as possible. Today we are fundraising for Black non-believers. I know last week we ran a recorded message from Mandisa Thomas, but today we're doing one better because joining us is Mandisa Thomas to talk about the fundraiser today. Hey, Mandisa.
Hey, Mandisa.
Hello, Eric. Hey, Ethan. Hello, everyone who is watching out in YouTube land today. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Well, and the live chat is doing excellent. We've got some amazing people in here. So please tell us, what are you doing? I know that you've been on the show before. We know you for people who don't know you. This is fucking Mandisa Thomas, you guys. How do you not know Mandisa Thomas? Anyway. Mandisa, tell us about your fundraiser.
Absolutely. So I really appreciate the ACA for supporting Black non-believers this past week with the final day being today. And for those of you who aren't familiar with us, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is headquartered in the Atlanta area, Atlanta, Georgia. And we are also community builders. We provide a safe space as well as advocacy, particularly for Blacks and allies who are leaving religion, who are atheists, and who didn't know that there were of us out here. We've been around for 10 years now. 2021 is our 10th anniversary. So we are celebrating all year long by just commemorating all the work we've been doing by hosting events, by appearing in media, by getting out in the community and doing outreach, just connecting and collaborating with others in the secular movement. I mean, we have just really been pounding that pavement and hitting our mark to let people know that there are more of us out here, and that we do so with a sense of style and with a sense of what comes from within our community that can resonate with so many others. And, it's just been it has been work. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been challenging. It's been all of those things. But I'm really, really happy to be here with you today, even just to share a few minutes to talk about the work we do.
Well, we really, really appreciate it. For those of you who are wondering, hey, how can I volunteer? How can I donate? First off, I just want to point people to the live chat. Up above, it says donate. Donations today are going going to Black non-believers. Not only that, the ACA is matching dollar for dollar, I believe, up to the goal of $10,000. It started last weekend, and ever since then, all of the shows have been contributing to this fundraiser. And we set the mark at $10,000, hoping we can raise $10,000 for your organization, and we're at $4,000. Let's make today count. For those of you who want to support Black non-believers, now's a great time. Mandisa, can you give us some examples of stuff that your organization has done in the last 10 years? I'm sure you've got plenty.
Absolutely. So I'm going to count backwards a bit. We actually launched our first billboard campaign last year.
All right.
The Liberation Billboard campaign, which debuted in August. And the message was clearly just simply free yourself from religion and find true liberation. And that followed a Black family discussion we had about Christianity, white supremacy, and true liberation. And in the years since, we have co-produced the Women of Color Beyond Belief conference along with Black Skeptics Los Angeles and the Women's Leadership Project. We've also launched our own cruise convention called BNC-Con, which ACA also supported in 2019. We have done a number of media appearances with CNN, CBS Sunday Morning, National Geographic. We also co-hosted the Blackout Secular Rally back in 2014. So we are very action-based. We are very event-based. We also co-launched the Zora Neale Hurston Scholarship along with the Secular Student Alliance last year. So we are just very diverse in what we do. I mean, it's when I talk about, sometimes I wonder what it is we do, but then when I start talking about it, I'm like, wow, it's a lot. It really, really is. And just getting people involved. And also we launched our Being Changes Lives campaign in 2017, in which members and allies shared their experiences with leaving religion and also how Black non-believers as an organization has impacted them. So it has just, I mean, I could go on and on. You know, I really don't want to take up all of it.
No, that's totally okay. I just want people to know that I mean, when we do this show, I think one of the big reasons we want to make sure that we're putting out programming is because we want to highlight organizations that are getting work done in the movement, that are actually pushing things forward. And you're doing that. And on a personal note, you're an incredibly sweet human being. I'm just happy when every time I get to see you. So
thank you.
It's excellent.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the live chat, and there are people outside of the United States who look like they're having trouble donating, hitting that donate button. Are there other ways that people can donate to or support Black non-believers?
Absolutely, you can. You can go directly to our website at blacknonbelievers.org. We are also on Cash App at Black Nonbelievers. For those of you who would like to designate a portion of your Amazon purchases, you can choose us as a designee at Amazon Smile. I know the ACA does that as well, but I have to plug that.
That's okay.
And also, if your workplace does allow for charitable giving, you can designate a portion of your paycheck to Black non-believers. The only exception is a combined federal campaign because we aren't signed up there yet. But if you want to donate directly to us, you can do so at our website and through Cash App if you'd like for us to receive those donations directly, which of course we hope that you all will still support the ACA fundraiser as well. And we have merchandise as well. So that information you can find on our website.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else that you wanted to share today?
Yes, so next weekend is our 10th anniversary celebration that will be taking place on a very smaller scale in New Orleans from January 15th through the 17th. You can go to our website if you'd like to stream the event. It is only $5 to stream it. We hope that you will support the event itself. We want to make sure we bring you the best quality. It's going to be a hybrid event. We want to make sure that you get a chance to really, really see more of the work and more of our collaborators, more of the things that we've been doing over these past 10 years, especially to help increase the Black atheist demographic and the work we've been doing. So please do sign up for the 10th anniversary celebration to stream. It's only $5.
That's perfect. Mandisa, thank you so much. I know that because of the nonprofit status and everything like that, you won't say it, but I'll say it. For those of you who don't know what Mandisa does, Mandisa gives her time to this community and this work. She's dedicated her life to it, and has been relying on the support of people who think that she does a great job. So if you want to support Mandisa personally, you can go to patreon.com/Mandisa Latifa, because she deserves it. Sorry, I had to do that.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate
And
you.
like I said, I miss you guys. I miss seeing y'all in person. I mean, oh my gosh, this pandemic just has us all feeling a way about everything.
Right.
But I'm glad I get a chance to see you guys like this as well.
It's wonderful, wonderful seeing you. I hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you for joining us, Mandisa.
It was nice seeing you again, Mandisa.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too, Ethan. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Take care.
Thanks.
How cool was that?
Very cool.
We get to do that.
Everybody, make sure you donate. Now, click the link. And here's the thing. If you can't donate, there are other ways you can help out. Take the link to this video, share it on your Facebook. I mean, for example, right now, Talk Heathen is at 79,000 subscribers. If the 1,000 people watching right now shared this video on their Facebook and just said, hey, we need one person from my friends list to subscribe, we would be at 80,000 by the end of the show. So do it. And also remind people they can donate and work for this great cause.
Thank you, brother. I'm really hoping we can get to 100,000 this year. That'd be fun. That'd be really, really nice. So we got a couple of other things. I need to publicly apologize. I messed something up last week, and I want to make this right. Last week, I went directly into saying our goodbyes and ending the show, and I did not go to crew cam. And I have been beating myself up about it all week. Can we go to the crew cam? I want to thank all of you for doing so much to make this happen, because we're sitting here in front of the camera, we're sitting here in front of the microphone, but this would not happen if it wasn't for our incredible crew. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And I'm not going to forget again this week. I heard they burned an effigy of me last week. So. Okay, on to other news. Yes. There's something else going on today. Also, by the way, it's snowing in Texas right now. It is just huge flurries, and I'm super excited. I'm gonna go play in the snow after this.
I don't like the snow. I mean, I like the snow. I don't like the cold. Like I want to be as warm as possible.
But as a Texan, this is special. And there's something else special going on today, and I want to name and embarrass objectively Dan, because today is his birthday. And we want to say, Dan, happy birthday. We appreciate and love you. If you have not checked out Truth Wanted, you absolutely need to. Dan is an incredible guy. Okay. Oh, and also I heard he went with our producer out for dinner for his birthday. And he made Greg eat vegan food, and Greg's been paying for it all morning.
What is his stomach upset or something?
I don't know. I didn't want to ask. So for our regular announcements, there's going to be a new episode of The Nonprofits at 3:00 after this show. And Talk Heathen is a product of the atheist community of Austin. It's also a 501c3 nonprofit. And if you want to support us, please consider going to patreon.com/talkheathen to me. That's patreon.com/talkheathen to me. We're 2/3 of the way through the episode. I thank our top 5 patrons. I've got it up on the screen. I refresh it immediately and do that. So if you want to hear your name read today, go to patreon.com/talkheathen to me and become one of our top 5 patrons.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. Are you ready to dive into calls, man? I think we've been teasing these people long enough.
Sure. And anyone watching, theists, please, I want to talk to you. Give us a call right now. Numbers at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, I'm ready to do this.
All right, let's start by talking to Joe in New York. Joe, you're live with Eric and Ethan. How are you doing today?
Hey, Joe.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, you've called in before, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think we had a good conversation. I'm glad you called back.
Yeah, so well, this is something totally different. But
okay, well, what did you want to talk about?
I wanted to say that I don't think atheists are choosing to use common sense when they analyze evidence for God.
Could you give me an example of what you mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, for example, the idea that something can come from nothing.
Have we ever said that? Have I or Ethan said that before?
I haven't.
Well, when I say nothing, what I mean is
I know, I get it,
Zero.
but I'm asking you if you've heard me or Ethan say that, because just like last time you called in, you're painting with a pretty broad brush. I'm happy to talk to you about the concept of it, but I want to be fair to everybody here.
Yeah, all right. So maybe you can be the first atheist to actually explain this to me, because
Sure.
I've been in a lot of arguments with YouTube atheists who they don't make sense to me. I don't get what they're saying about the origin of the universe.
Sure. So
let's
talk about what the claim is, right? Because the claim is usually brought to us as God created the universe. And so we ask, okay, how do you know that? Now, there are a number of theists who will respond, well, if God didn't do it, then nothing did it. And how can you say that nothing did it? And what that's actually doing is that's taking the burden of evidence, right? If you're making a claim, if you're saying something happened and we ask you to show evidence of it, right? That's on you to do that. But the idea of flipping that back the other way is shifting the burden of evidence. So my question for you is that what's keeping you believing in a God? I mean, is the idea that you haven't talked to an atheist who has given you a different proposition? Is that what's holding you to the God belief?
Not entirely, no.
Okay. Would it change the confidence you have in your belief if we dissuaded you from this argument?
I doubt it.
So
But I mean, I want to hear.
This sounds like really fun sparring, but it doesn't sound like it's going to get us anywhere. And I'm happy to talk about it. I don't want you to think I'm sloughing it off, or I'm not trying to shirk responsibility. There we go. Shuck. What the fuck am I thinking? But I also want to make sure that the time that we're spending together, the time that we're talking to each other, is beneficial for all involved. Like if you were to show evidence that your God belief, that your God created the universe, I'd listen. And if I was convinced, I would become convinced. And I would hope that you're coming in open as an honest interlocutor as well.
Yeah, and to kind of echo what Eric said, I can't speak for him or other atheists. There is a big part of me that still wants to believe there is a God and an afterlife. And how the reason I think like that is, for instance, about 10 years ago, I lost my brother. I want to see him again. The idea of an afterlife where I get a hug from him again is like the best thought ever. But just because I want to believe, I'm not going to let my want supersede my need for the truth. So what evidence could you perhaps supply that would be more convincing to us?
I mean, for me, it's miracles that happen in people's lives.
Okay. So
I've had a miracle happen to, or more than one miracle happen to me, and I've heard of other miracles happening to other people.
Okay.
And I don't look at them as random coincidences.
Why not?
I see them as something that was orchestrated.
So I guess question. I'm trying the street epistemology approach with you, because the way you came in, at least in the show notes, it sounded like you were atheists are doing this, and so I'm kind of trying to deconstruct a little bit here. If we were to kind of shift that view on miracles, would that change your confidence level when it comes to a God belief? I mean, going from 99 to 98.9 is still a change.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying from 100 to 0, just adjusting, changing.
And most importantly, don't you think it's, Joe, it's important to come to the table with an open mind and not necessarily close yourself off to other possibilities? Like, for instance, I'm not going to say God does not exist or God did not do this. Hey, if there's evidence for God, it will convince me. But wow, ADHD brain just went out the window. That happens.
No worries, man. No worries.
Can I just point out, holy crap, yeah. This is like the most nervous I've ever been. This is exciting, but holy crap, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to process that I'm not talking Heathen right now. So
it's okay, brother.
Anyways,
that's really, really sweet. Joe, go ahead, Heathen.
It's important to come to the table with an open mind.
Yeah.
Good. Then that makes 3 of us. Cool. Okay, so then I know you wanted to talk about common sense, but it sounds like this conversation might be better served if we talk about miracles. Would you agree?
No, I kind of wanted to explain something about common sense.
Well, I'm worried that you're going to talk at a straw man of an atheist or some atheist that's in your head that you dealt with online. And I've definitely had people who've called in or written in and tried to use Talk Heathen as a platform to settle their Facebook and Twitter arguments. And so I want to make sure that we don't do that. So if you're not going to do that, I'm willing to listen. But if you feel like you might go into that territory, then maybe we can talk about miracles.
And to follow up on that, is there common sense that you specifically don't think Eric and I are using? Because then we could address that.
Yeah, mainly what I said before, which you guys seem to disagree, applies to you. That, something coming from nothing.
Okay. So to answer that, I don't know. I really have no idea. It's amazing. I have no, that we're here, but if you were to rewind time back to the instantiation of the universe, I don't know what happens at t equals 0 or 2 equals 1. I just don't. But I want to learn. What I think is when you make the God claim, I don't think you have the firepower to bring to the table to be convincing. That's the response is, we're looking at the God claim and just determining whether or not it passes muster.
Yeah, Joe. You believe God created the universe, correct?
Yeah.
So when you were looking into this and doing your research, how did you eliminate the possibility of, for example, aliens or something else creating the universe?
Aliens are like a finite thing, and God, to me, is this infinite. He's like everything and nothing at the same time. He's like this weird.
How do you know that?
Because that's like the only way that your mind can move into thinking. If you think about the origin of everything, it has to come from something extraordinary.
I'm sorry. I don't understand that. Are you saying that I can't think about the beginning of the universe unless I believe in God? Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, the whole, looking out at night at the stars and seeing all those stars and thinking about them all, and then in the microscopic universe as well, there's like so much going on. And the complexity of this universe
is amazing.
If it originated from something, it has to be from something that's even greater than it.
Why? Do you think something less complex can create something more complex? Do you think it doesn't go the other way around? Like if I created a machine, an artificial intelligence, to create better machines and have those machines create better machines, then theoretically you can have something less advanced creating more advanced things over time.
I don't think so. I think if it originated from you, you contained everything that's being multiplied.
Are you a parent, Joe?
A what?
A parent?
No, I'm not.
No? So I think that any parents watching are probably strongly disagreeing, because I'm sure there are plenty of parents who can tell you that their children have far exceeded anything they could have done, and they're very proud. I don't think that argument stands up. I think it sounds pretty, but when you put it into practice, I really don't think that holds water, dude.
Well, and Joe, what it kind of sounds like you're doing, there was one of the final argument that changed me from being a Christian to an atheist was when I learned, I was saying, look at everything. I don't know what else could it be, therefore God. And that's the important part, is we don't know what created or birthed, however you want to define it, this universe into existence. So wouldn't you say it's more important to say, hey, I'm not sure what happened, but I'm going to keep looking at this with an open mind until I figure out what did happen, as opposed to just saying, I don't know or understand this, therefore God did it.
Yeah.
Well, I only see three possibilities for the origin of the universe.
Okay. What are your three possibilities?
A, there was an ultimate consciousness, like super intelligent.
Okay. What if I told you we could discount that immediately? We can kick that one out immediately.
I definitely would not believe you. But
okay. Okay. Cool. Can you have consciousness without a brain?
Yes.
Show me that consciousness, please. See, that's the thing, is having your consciousness, right? That part of you that is you, that is an emergent property of having a brain. And that consciousness goes away when that brain stops working. And we see that to varying degrees, even with people who have brain damage, and how that changes their consciousness. And so to say there's a consciousness living somewhere out in the universe completely ignores the fact that consciousness is a body is required for it. A brain is required for it. So let's take the first of those options that you said and throw it out the window, because it is not possible. What are your other options?
I believe it is possible. I think that the brain is a seat of consciousness for the soul, for the spirit. And the brain has to be
Go ahead.
The brain has to be functioning and intact for a certain kind of spirit to inhabit it, and then the spirit will choose to inhabit it.
Okay, so it sounds like you're bringing something new to the table, and I know that we're running a little long on time, and so I want to make sure that we have time for the other callers. But Joe, you just brought spirits into the conversation. What is a spirit? How's that different from a body? What does it do? What qualities does it have? Can I measure it? Can I interact with it? Can I, does it look like something? Is it tangible in any way, or is it just an imaginary friend?
I think it has the shape of a human body in in heaven. But
well, heaven, we're going to have to get to another day because we got too many new things coming in. But I don't think spirits and souls exist.
Same.
And if you do, then I would love for you to bring evidence for it, because like we said at the top of the call, we are having these conversations openly. We're trying to be honest interlocutors, and we have that expectation for our callers. So you have been kind. Your first call, your second call, you've been kind. You are welcome to call back again. I've got to tell you, man, when you came in last time, you came in guns blazing saying atheists do this. And we talked you down off the ledge, and you called in again this week and it was atheists do this. I want you to know I cannot speak for all of us because a lot of us are assholes, but I think that's true of humanity. You know?
Yeah, so, and it's, Joe, the one recommendation I would give, because I have made this mistake, and I'm sure I may make this mistake again, is when I have talked to some Christians, I'll bring in other things Christians have said and attribute to them. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be engaging with the person I'm talking to. So, for instance, find something you want to challenge us on, and then address that directly with us, as opposed to just painting a broad brush and assuming, we all think alike.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you for being my first caller on Talk Heathen, dude. It was nice talking to you.
Take care, man.
Yeah.
Talk to you next time.
Take care, guys. Yeah,
have a good one.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
So we have some really, really awesome calls here, but just because of the way that conversation went, there's another caller who wants to talk about something very, very similar, and I kind of think that it'd be nice to bring that out. So let me see if I can find this person. Where did they go? There we go. It is Jeff in Washington. Jeff, we were just talking about consciousness. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff.
Say hi to Ethan.
How are you guys? Yeah, Ethan, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I think I remember you calling last week when I was doing call moderating. Did I speak with you then?
That might have been you then. Sweet.
Oh, nice to talk to you on the air. How's it going?
Hey, for sure. Good.
All right. So hit us with it. What do you want to talk about?
Okay. You just said that consciousness is an emergent property. Mm-hmm. I don't think science has actually gotten there yet. There's I think like 4 really big theories, but 2 are the leading ones, because if you take away the dualistic views of what consciousness is, you get rid of dualism and you get rid of the other ones. But 2 that are kind of happening right now is the workspace theory and integrated information theory.
Okay.
And integrated information.
I just wanted to, as you're saying this, I want to make sure we're not losing people or the eyes glaze over. So as you're talking about integrated information theory, let's make sure we're having a conversation at a level that everybody can kind of pick up and move with us on.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Because when I saw this, I had no idea what it was. So if you could, try and break it down.
So basically, atoms exchange information. They process information. Everything has information that it's exchanging with each other. Whether it's on a super small scale, or whether it's on a like you and me scale, or whether it's a social structure scale, or whether it's the universe scale. There's all this information being passed off. And there's and I think we keep using the word consciousness when we should probably find another word, mostly because we have a hard time defining what consciousness is, let alone life.
Do. I definitely am interested here because, Jeff, my worry here so far, and people are wondering, why is this conversation important? Why is this happening on Talk Heathen? We talk about consciousness and maybe getting just a little bit more into it, and having these kinds of talks keeps us fresh, keeps us, thinking about it, and make sure that we're not, getting lazy on our part. So, sorry, Jeff, when you said that there's an exchange of information, could you also just call that a chemical interaction?
Correct. So
Okay,
there there's
here's
a
my
chemical,
worry.
But when does
Well, so here's my
the
worry.
chemical turn to a biological?
Well, so hold on just a second, because I'll get there. It's just my worry is that you're anthropomorphizing things, that you're giving this kind of imagery that implies some kind of agency to chemical interactions. Oh, hey, I brought you the chemical between your neurons, and hey, hey Bill, hey Bob, here's your adrenaline. We really shouldn't do that, because it gets real weird.
So if you I agree, and
Okay.
it's kind of like we have these we have no solution to the hard problem, and so we're exploring to try and find, is it emergent, or is it I'm having a brain fart here, but when we say it's an emergent property, but then we look at Maxwell's demons, where Maxwell's demons kind of got pushed off to the side many years ago, but it started to make a comeback, and they're used with nanotechnology. They're able to actually defy the second laws of thermodynamics and have
did you say Maxwell demons? I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure I heard what you said correctly.
Correct. Maxwell's demons. It's mostly, it's along the lines of the integrated information theory. It's basically taking nanobytes or nanites.
Nanites.
Thank you. And
Gotcha.
there's two, like if you take a room and you have a little door that basically these nanobytes will decide whether the high frequency or the low frequencies go to the left or to the right, and just the single little thing is deciding who goes where. And yet
you keep saying decide. If I were to go to like what are those? Are they Plinko machines? Where it's got all the pegs and you drop it down at the bottom. You drop a ball down and it kind of bounces its way down. Are each of the
you're talking about chaos theory?
No, I'm specifically responding to something you said, and that is that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. Does that mean that each of those little bars that it hits on the way down is deciding where the ball's going, or that the ball's deciding to hit each of those little things?
It's probably more complicated than that, than my layman.
No worries, but you
handle, because and that's why I'm like, I look at science and I've been listening to you guys for probably about 3-4 years now, and
all right.
Same.
I've run into this consciousness problem that like I understand you guys want to go to the emergent property where consciousness is an emergent, but when I look at other things where whether it's bacteria moving organisms around so that bacteria can get into a even separate organism, like there's something going on, that how does that organism know that it wants to get to a third or fourth or fifth
well, it would need cognition to know anything. Again, we're anthropomorphizing.
Right,
please be careful not to do that.
Right, and well, that's why science is trying to study this, and so you've got the likes of Tononi, and you've got Bertrand Russell was one of the first.
So Jeff, you gave us a lot, and I think I want to look some of that stuff up. I think it gave me a great starting point to look into something. From what I understand, integrated information theory, while it sounds like it could be interesting, and while there's a lot of math behind it, there has yet to be any falsifiable claims that could be tested because of it. And because of that, it's a good exercise.
Actually, there's a refrigerator that has been made up by these nanobytes, and it's not 100% foolproof because you still have to empty the tank and replenish the tank with nanobites, but it's still self-propelling without any outside thermodynamics going on. So, basically it's doing it off of the information that it's these nanobites have with each other. They're creating that energy, which is you're blowing my mind.
No worries, you're anthropomorphizing again. What I suggest, we'll look into this. What I suggest you looking into is microbiology, because what you're talking about is the interactions of chemicals and how those interactions play out. At no point do you have, a microbe deciding anything.
Maybe not.
Definitely the maybe not part.
I know for sure. I would I would need to take the time to learn a little bit more about this to dive into this.
Sure. I'm just where I'm going with this is to make a decision. You need at a minimum a central nervous system.
Do you?
Can you show me something that makes
these slime mold or other organisms that don't, we consider life, but where is the threshold? How low do you go?
Agreed.
With a brain. So you and me.
Totally understood. So somebody that's in a coma, are they conscious?
How's that?
Someone that's in a coma, are they conscious?
That's
are they deciding to breathe still? Are they deciding to pump their heart?
So that's where we have to possibly refigure out what, because you're taking away parts that are integral to the brain. So it's like, okay, so what you're saying is basically we will never be able to create a machine that would have consciousness because we would keep building it up.
Go ahead. I think that if it passed the Turing test, I don't know. I think if it passed the Turing test, I might be convinced. But I definitely think that somebody who's brain dead in a coma, but their body's still functioning, is not conscious. And if I wouldn't grant that to somebody who's brain dead in a coma, I'm definitely not going to grant that to a houseplant. And if I'm not going to grant it to a houseplant, then I'm definitely not going to grant it to a slime mold. So that's where I get off the station here, bud. I don't follow that. But it may just be that our definition.
I understand what, and with the experiments Tononi's been doing, where he's studying actual consciousness when you're asleep and versus when you're awake.
Comas are a little different than when you're asleep. But I think, I'm afraid we're going to get overloaded here. So we're going to take this and we're going to move on. But Jeff, thank you for calling in. It was just such a good segue from the first call to talk to you.
Yeah, I just don't like that. That with these, and it's not against you, but everyone's trying to link it to the soul, and when it's just basically we have a level of with Tononi, he's saying we have a level of 5. There's just information being passed off with each other, and that's it. And so it's not going to answer the soul question, and we don't know. And so I like to stay in that we don't know until the evidence is there, so I do try to hold off my belief.
Yeah, Jeff, regardless, I think we can both say we agree with you on that. There are lots of things that we don't know we want to look into, and I'm going to look into this.
Same.
All right, my man. I appreciate it.
Take care, brother.
It was nice talking to you.
Ethan.
Oh, damn it. I dropped it, and I bet he said your name. I'm sorry, okay. Ethan.
He was probably going to say hi or bye. No big.
Okay. So before we hop onto the next call, I'm making up for this. Can we go to the crew cam?
Ooh, I want to say don't forget that this time.
Incredible. No, I'm going to do this as many times. Hello, amazing crew. We love you. Oh, you're incredible. I'm not going to forget this. And if you look on the right side, Vern, our president and audio engineer, is showing a video of the snow outside here in Austin, Texas. It is snowing and it's amazing, and I can't wait to go play in the snow after the show.
I've always wondered,
What's up?
Why? How come when we go to the crew cam, we've never seen any of them dancing? Like if I was on the crew cam, I'd be doing like the Bee Gees Staying Alive or something.
Oh, there we go. There's Katie doing some dancing. All right.
Come on, Katie.
All right. Let's move on and talk to Macy in New York.
Hey, Macy, how's it going?
I think that's our second New Yorker today. Let me see if I can pull Macy up.
Hi.
There we go. Hey, you're live with Eric and Heathen.
How are you, Eric and Ethan?
Doing well. What did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank you, Eric and Vila. You guys have really given me just a space and the chance to question some of my beliefs, which I think is really awesome. So thank you so much. And thank you to Mandisa, because I'm a Black non-believer, and she's really
Nice.
Great.
yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
love that.
so I wanted to get into my question about mental health, religion, and existentialism. And essentially, like,
That's my jammy jams. Let's do it.
yeah, but it's like the nexus of these three, I think. So it's essentially like I used to believe in hellfire, and a lot of my motivation for going to church and following the rituals and whatever it was this fear that God was going to burn me. But over time, I realized that every church was condemning the other church to hell. Like the Seventh Day think, Anyway, let me not generalize all Seventh Days, but you know what I mean. If you don't follow some aspect of the religion, you're
Totally
going
understood.
to be a version of hell. So
Ethan, do you remember that?
yeah, so that for me,
I don't, unfortunately.
No?
The fear. Sorry, the fear of hell.
Oh, no. The looking at
Yeah,
other
but-
churches and, they're not Christians. No. They don't have it right. Those Catholics, they're worshiping false idols, and those, or what was it? You
people
can't
who
get
don't
into.
pray on Saturday, the Sabbath, right?
So
Or-
I
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was never one of those
Yeah, so-
no true Christian people. I was
Really?
more like I wasn't heavily into Christianity, and I'm sure many would say I wasn't a true Christian. Most of my indoctrination was very conservative political. So for me, it was much easier for me to give up my belief in God than give up my conservative Republican stripes. Like that took time and hard
wow.
work.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so there's that.
Okay, go ahead.
There's that aspect where everyone thinks the next person the other church is going to hell. My church thinks a lot of other churches are going to hell.
Sure.
And so at that point, it made hell kind of meaningless to me. And so I'm at this point where I'm not so much into the health stuff. I'm not so much into the ritual. I go when I want to go and when I'm able to. But my big question is I've come across a lot of theists like myself who say, I experience mental health issues. I go through major depressive disorder, but the only thing that's keeping me alive, I know the scripture says this and this and this. I imagine myself like Job fighting against these mental health issues, and God wants me to win them, And so it's like, even though the logic might make sense as to why someone should not be so religious or be a theist, how do you deal with that existential piece? Is my question, without affecting people's mental health? Because I've heard several people were like, I'm going through this really tough time and I feel suicidal, but I would never do it because I'm afraid of hell, because I'm afraid of this, So how do you address that in a way that is helpful? Yeah.
I'm so glad you called this weekend. You're talking to two people who openly talk about mental health and what we go through as well. So you called on a great weekend. Ethan, did you want to go first or do you want me to?
No, please.
Okay. So you talk about purpose. You mentioned purpose, and I know it talks about purpose in the call notes. So I'm going to go with that. The idea that you have a purpose ascribed to you, and that is super important. I really want to challenge that. So there are plenty of societies where parents arrange marriages for their children. And that is your purpose. You are given that purpose, and you have to marry someone. This idea of being married for love is something new. If you were assigned, a spouse to marry, somebody to marry that you didn't know or didn't like, would you consider that your purpose? Would you find that meaningful?
Well, Well, it depends. I mean, I think there are many ways that parents can communicate that. If it's obviously in a very dictatorial fashion, but if you believe that there's something greater that's supposed to be achieved once you marry this person, like maybe it will help keep your family safe, or some nations will unite and the wars would stop or something. You know what I mean? It depends.
Yeah. In this example, the higher power is your parents. They're the ones that are above you, that are making the decision for you. I mean,
right. But the thing is, the thing is, like, I'm not so sure if maybe a heaven might exist, but not a hell.
Okay, well, I mean, we can get to the heaven and hell part, but I definitely kind of want to drill down a bit on the purpose part, because I think we can, flesh this out just a little bit more. I really think
the purpose part, right? What is the purpose of me following God? Isn't the purpose for me to get to heaven and not hell?
The idea of purpose at all, right? What is purpose? It's your sense of what you should be doing, what your,
right.
The idea that there is cosmic purpose, that there's some grand plan that you're a part of. I liken it to being told, hey, you're going to win the lottery at the end of the week. The problem is everyone's racking up debt, assuming they're going to win the lottery. That's the issue. And so, and on Friday, when you don't make the money, when you don't get the money, you're upset because it's like, God, I was supposed to get this, right? I don't think they ever had a heaven to give you in the first place.
Well, and I guess you say I'm one of the lucky ones, because I know a lot of people struggle with hell and heaven, especially when they come out of religion. For me, it was a huge relief, like a weight off my shoulders. Like, I don't think heaven and hell exists anymore. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to worry about my life right now and live my life to the fullest. So why focus so much on heaven or hell?
Well, on that point, then, okay, so then where does someone find the meaning? Let's say your whole meaning was, I'm following these rules because there's some predetermined end that is supposed to be glorious and I'm going to be singing, or I don't know, however people picture their heavens in different denominations, but, sure. This is why I'm following these rules. This is why I exist, pretty much,
Well, I think you deciding that for yourself is incredibly powerful. I think I was talking to my roommate, Holy Kool-Aid, at one point, and he brought up that there's this little fish, and what it does is it spends its life building a nest out of rocks. And every time the tide goes in and out, it messes up its little nest. And so it goes and it picks up each little rock by its mouth, using its mouth, and builds this little nest, all with the intent of someday getting laid and then dying. Right. And if it did that thing, I assume that fish is happy as hell, as much as a fish can be happy. I mean, it doesn't matter what your purpose is, but setting it out for yourself.
But Eric, right? But Eric, right? Some people might enjoy being servile, I think.
Sure.
Like having this,
what?
And
servile.
If you have to set it for yourself, it implies some sort of, not servile. I think that's a very bad way of putting it. But you're serving this being that you have no control over. Yeah, Whereas,
then do what we're doing
for myself.
Well, then do what we're doing. Support a nonprofit. There are so many organizations that have actual, work that they're doing to make this world a better place, to make it more comfortable, to get rid of disease and starvation, to help one another. It is snowing, and I'm enjoying the snow, and yet I know that now I'm just thinking about it. There are homeless people here in Austin. I bet they're not enjoying the snow.
Oh.
I think
you could consider serving people in the world as kind of a purpose.
Wouldn't you consider that to be a pretty damn good purpose?
I would, but I just think it's not as intense as the religious one. At least the one I was raised in, fundamentalist Pentecostalism. That is very intense. It's like God is always waiting to condemn you.
Yeah, but I agree with Heathen. I know Ethan's waiting to talk, so I'll let him go, but I just wanted to echo what Heathen said first. Heathen, I nailed it for me. And I used to have this fear that I'm going to meet the one, and I'm going to mess it up. And then I'm boned. I met the one and I messed it up, and that was the one person put on earth for me. And I hit a point where I was in a terrible breakup, and I thought just that. And realizing that there's not a one person helped a lot.
Same. And I think the best meaning and you can get out of life is helping other people. While on one end, I want to say, hey, don't spend so much time worrying about God, even though I'm sitting here, on a show talking about God. But at the same time, focus on everything you have. Like, start looking at everything going on right now, your family, your friends, the people you talk to. Like, if you can, put that energy into helping the people around you, because this world is a great place. It's got its setbacks. There are problems, but if we just all loved each other, not to sound too hippy dippy, but if we just loved each other a little bit more, dude, we could make this world way better.
But Ethan, it doesn't sound as great as heaven, does it?
Why not? So to me, that sounds better. Knowing, like, if I die, knowing that I made a positive impact on people's life. Or for instance, like on my personal Facebook, I upload goofy dance videos because I like making people laugh. Like, knowing that I have been able to take away people's mental pain just for a moment, that is great. Like, that is one of the greatest feelings you can ever feel, in my opinion, and far more powerful than God. Taking away other people's pain. That should be enough.
I mean, it sounds very much like being upset that you didn't get the $1 million on Friday. I mean,
yeah,
it's understandable, but we got to move past it. Right. What is it? 1 Corinthians 13:11. I know it sucks to quote, but it was a good quote. And that is, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child. I walked, thought, and spoke, I believe, like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. We need to put it away.
You're literally putting away the thing that he's defending. That's funny.
Well, but I think it's absolutely fair. I thought as a child. It's time to put away childish things, especially when we have a world with people in need, where we can help each other, where we can actually see the work that we're doing, and we can be a part of making that world a better place.
Okay. I hear you. Thank you so much. You guys have given me a lot to think about. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for calling, Macy.
Take care.
You have a good day too.
I liked her.
Yeah,
it's just a damn... Ethan, you were just attracting good people today, man. I'm stoked.
Dude, these are the people I like talking to. Like, I don't like arguing or yelling. Like, I just want to have friendly conversations with other people and understand why they believe what they believe.
You, sir, have just a calming effect on me that I really appreciate. You're just keeping me super, super level and chill. So before we move on to the next call, it's already 2/3 of the way through the episode.
Oh,
can you freaking believe how quickly that came?
I know, it's flying. I've been freaking out for like 2 weeks. Like, oh my God. When you and V were giving that introduction for me at the end of the episode last week, I was literally like, oh my God. Like, I was going up and down. I was like, I can't actually believe this is happening.
And yet you have amazing people on your show. You do a call-in show. You have the Ethan and Jenna show. You have all of these different projects that you're a part of. And the great thing is you keep doing this, and I'm sure people are having the exact same reaction meeting you.
I hope so. And, if I could, to the audience, one of the reasons I waited so long is because I'm like, you hear people like Eric and V and Jenna talk, and you're like, these people are so knowledgeable, so smart. I can't do what they can do. Well, yes, you can. And you can do it in your own way. You don't have to, one of my first videos, I tried emulating other YouTubers, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to be me on camera. We need more voices out there. So if you can be a voice, don't ever think you don't know enough. You can learn, you can progress, but your voice does matter.
That's right. That's right. And we are a growing community. It's not like, we have so much Talk Heathen content that we're going to fill 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, there's plenty of room for all of us. Come and join us. That said, even if you don't want to be in front of a camera, like our amazing crew, there are tons of ways to help. Hey, amazing crew. You brought this on yourself. Thank you. Okay, so we're just having way too much fun. People are like, get to the damn calls. Let me thank our top 5 patrons first.
My bad. I have a
dude.
tendency to, my ADHD sends me in a million routes, so I have a tendency to get off topic all the time.
Dude, we're good, man. I'm having fun. But I want to thank our top 5 patrons because it is incredibly meaningful. I just refreshed the page, and so I want to thank Eric Tweet, Desert Heathen, Bethany P., Jay Friedman, and Ward Knepling. And thank you. And to everyone else who is supporting us, thank you so much. It is your donations that keep us going. But, this week in particular, look, we set out to try and raise 10 grand for Black non-believers, and we are so far behind that goal. So if you're watching right now, there's a donate link above the live chat. Please, $1, $5, it helps.
And again, if you can't donate, share it on your page, on Twitter. Yes. Get the word out, because we know not everyone is in a position to be able to donate right now, but every little thing makes a difference. So if you can, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. All righty. That said, you ready to move into the next call?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's move to Pennsylvania and talk to Gage. Gage, you're live with Eric and Heathen. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing? Let me get you off the speak real quick.
Please.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Gage?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Everything is alive.
That sounds like a take from one of our last calls.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, something similar. I actually put the call in before that guy called in, but
did you?
Yeah, he was saying similar things.
Okay, so you're saying everything is alive. So if I cut you in half, would you still be alive?
No, but the atoms or the energy that makes up me is living.
Okay, so
whether you kill me or not.
Maybe we have a really weird definition of life. What is life to you? Because it sounds like we have very different definitions of it.
Well, when I think about life, like living life form, life absorbs energy, it releases energy, it copies and transfers information. So I just break that down into.
No. Hold on. That's a lot to break down already. We can do a whole call just on that. So energy is a real thing, right? I have a battery that stores energy. Here, this battery stores energy and does a whole lot better than a rock at storing energy, but you can get a rock warm. So I guess but I don't call a rock alive. Why do you?
Well, no, the rock itself is not alive, but the atoms which make up the rock carry energy, and the energy itself is alive.
Okay, so atoms are life. Okay, cool.
So with that, where are you going with this when you say everything's alive?
Pantheism?
Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm walking into the house right now. I just got some food.
That's okay.
I believe because everything is alive, that energy seeks stability. So over time, just through something I call the evolving universe, anything which is not stable will collapse and therefore will not exist. So energy will become more stable over time. And once it's stable in a proper environment.
Yeah, energy, the fact that you're talking about energy very, very loosely, and you're anthropomorphizing things that don't deserve to be given personalities and characteristics, right? You're talking about inanimate things, things that don't have minds, things that don't have consciousnesses. And if you're just redefining life into something that's that vague, I mean, okay, I disagree with you, but what now? I mean,
well,
does this mean
all the mind is a complex form of energy? Everything is made up of energy, so all the mind is complex chemical reactions.
Sure, you're a complex form of carbon as well. What's the point?
The point is just that everything will inevitably become more complex as long as it's in a stable environment, because anything which is not complex or which is not stable will eventually just die off.
I'm having trouble following where you're going with this, but if you want to call back, I'd be happy to. If you can find a different way to phrase it, maybe I can follow. But Ethan, do you get what he means? Because I'm having trouble following what he's talking about.
I think what he's trying to say is that because everything is alive, and the energy changes, it then points to a belief in a god or a deity. Is that where you're going?
I mean, to do that, you'd have to play pretty loose with the definition of God. I mean, it's hard to define God.
Okay, if you're saying that you have to play loose with definitions after the conversation we've just had, I'm going to tap out. But I've definitely heard people say that everything is alive, and I just want to encourage you. Yes, do, because were you going to say you're going to find a different way to phrase it and call back?
Yeah, I'll put some more thought into it to find another better way to talk about it. I was kind of busy at the time. I called in a little bit ago and did some things. So yeah,
no worries.
I'll call in another time.
Here's something to help you with. Look up the fallacies of division and composition, because I think that's going to help you. If I take a steering wheel out of a car, is it a car? Right. So the fallacy of composition is what is true of the parts is also true of the whole. And the fallacy of division is the other way around. What is true of the whole is also true of the parts. And that is just not how that works. And because of that, I think that you might be applying a concept that is true maybe of some things, but not of others, and then dividing that out or compounding that and still giving it the same characteristics. So I think that might help you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for
Thanks,
calling
Gage.
in.
I hope you have a safe Sunday.
Right,
Talk to you later.
Cheers. All right. You ready?
I am ready. Let's keep it rolling.
All right. We're going to go to Brazil. Lucas in Brazil. You are live with Eric and Ethan. What would you like to talk about?
Hi, Eric. Hi, Ethan.
Oh, that is a good connection. You sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to try and make this brief, but I'm a little nervous, so bear with me.
Don't worry. We don't bite. You'll be fine.
Ethan bites.
Yeah, I might bite. Well, no.
I mean, he'll make sure you have permission in that there's
Of course, consent's very important, but I'm a pretty chill dude. You really got absolutely nothing to worry about from me.
All right, go ahead, Lucas. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. So, yeah, I want to talk about dealing with arguments that use pseudoscience to justify religious beliefs. Because here in Brazil, there's this religion called Spiritism. And
really?
They talk about it's actually a form of Christianity, but it also talks about it believes in evolution of the spirit, and so it's the evolution of the soul, and but they don't understand evolution because they think that like we come from like lower beings, like we start as like single cells. And then we evolve, our soul starts as a single cell, and then we evolve into like higher beings, and the highest being of all is Jesus Christ, is what they believe.
Oh, I've heard something similar to that. Okay.
Yeah, but there's also other things where like they claim that they can talk to spirits of the deceased, and they talk to if you go to to it's not actually a church, but let's just call it a church. If you go to their church, they tell you that they can talk to your deceased family.
Yeah,
And
that's really gross.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Heathen. It looks like you have something to say.
So it's funny that it frustrates me so much when people do that. You know, my mom was paying someone at some point to communicate with my brother who had passed on. I'm just like, Mom, like I was getting so mad. And I'm like, this person is saying things my brother is allegedly saying. And I'm like, please don't do that. It's just, I find it so disrespectful. Yet on the flip side, if someone does tell me they can't direct me, not other people, they could communicate with my brother, I welcome it. I'm like, cool. Hey, you want to convince me psychics are real? My brothers and I had our own unique language. Say something he would say in our unique language. And I would love to investigate it from that stance, but I don't really like when people do that to others.
Yeah.
It
looks like in the notes you're saying that you wanted to know how we deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ethan had a great example just right there.
Well, I think also the method I found that works best for me is just trying to ask questions, because the minute, at least in my experience, we start like ridiculing or tearing these people down, they're not going to listen to us. And I genuinely want to do everything I can to help, educate people and get them to ask themselves challenging questions. So, Anthony Magnabosco in street epistemology, it really is a great method. And I would spend some time learning that so you can ask them these questions and get them asking questions about their own beliefs.
Yeah.
Right.
And also keep an eye out for who wants to have this conversation with you, because you can want to talk with somebody, but if they don't want to talk with you, you're just being annoying.
Yes.
And I know that sucks, because I really want to have a lot of those conversations, but make sure that they want to have that conversation. If they do, then Ethan, I like that approach. Ask questions, cause them to reflect on the things they're talking about. Because either they're going to convince you or they're going to reevaluate.
Right. And just to again echo what Eric said, it's very important to make sure they're okay with the conversation. Some people are not comfortable with these talks, so just do your best. Don't force it on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I have like a small thing that I want to say about it, because recently I saw a place, a mental health institution that's based on this belief, on spiritism.
Okay.
And because I have I don't know how secular their treatment is, because they have faith healing and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm so scared that because I have a lot of mental health issues, a history of mental health issues in my family. I'm so afraid of someone going to a place like that.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
It is. I know there are definitely some great resources out there, like the Secular Therapy Project and Recovering from Religion, that can help those people in their transition, or even if they're just questioning.
Are there any? Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just wanted to build on what you were saying. Are there any organizations in Brazil that you can take advantage of, or that you can reach out to connect with? Getting help, and go ahead.
Yeah, I don't I looked for secular therapy here in Brazil, and I didn't find anything related to that, anything that claims to be secular or that works from that angle.
Okay. I know that the Secular Therapy Project has lots of therapists that live here in the States who are, many of whom are willing to meet and talk and do video conferencing. It's definitely had a big uptick, especially with COVID. So that might be worth checking out. But if I were you, I would reach out to Recovering from Religion as well, because using their hotline project either through text or by calling. And information's down below us in the lower third because our producer is amazing. They have a lot of information when it comes to connecting groups, and I have seen resources all over the world. And so if I were to take a first attempt at looking for resources in Brazil, I would look using Recovering from Religion. And it's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey,
Okay. All right.
Lucas, thank you for
Oh,
calling
thank
in. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys for, I just want to say thank you. I think there's a bit of a delay, but yeah, thank you so much. This has been really helpful. I wanted to get this out of my chest because I saw this place and I was like a little bit freaked out by it.
Totally. I feel the same way about Scientologists for the same reasons. That their take on mental health is incredibly detrimental, and it's incredibly scary to know that they're number one, saying that psychology doesn't work, and number two, telling people that the problems in their lives is, caused by ghosts that they need to exorcise out of their body. It's just
Thetans, I believe they're called.
Yep.
Like they attach themselves to your soul, and
anyway. Lucas. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you,
Ethan.
Lucas.
Definitely.
Thank
Take
you
it,
guys.
buddy.
Real quick, Eric.
What's up?
Since we were talking about recovering from religion, I think that's a perfect segue to talk about the event. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, how did we not talk about the event? If you are watching this, okay, can I give the spoiler what the event is?
Oh, sure. If you want to, and I'll take it from you. Go, please.
Heathen is having his 1-year anniversary. I cannot believe you've put out so many freaking hours of content in only 1 year. It is unbelievable. I don't know how you sleep. I wonder if you get like a suntan just from being in front of the lights for like I would walk away a human prune with how much time you spend in front of those lights. But 1 year, and I'm going to be there. I know V's going to be there. Talk about it.
Yeah, so I am really excited. Like, I can't believe it's been a year already. It's going to be February 4th from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time. And what we're doing is we're using it as an opportunity to raise money for recovering from religion. So I'll be hosting it alongside Hannah Vaughn, Jenna Belk, Kenneth Leonard, and Brainbug. And then check out this guest list. We have Rick Lockhart, atheist pastor, Lucas Golias, Anthony Magnabosco, Puck, V. LaBianca, IQ, Vice Rhino, Thomas Westbrook, the whole Atheist Roundtable, Neil the 604 Atheist, Dean Meadows, Randolph Richardson, Shannon Marie Holly, Eric Murphy, Objectively Dan, Godless Engineer, Cynthia McDonald, Dave Warnock, Dragnot, Chris Matherd, Dear Christians Podcast, Mandisa Thomas, Cindy Plaza, Dr. Daryl Ray, Larry the Christian, the Sassy Heathen, Genetically Modified Skeptic, Aaron Ra, Chris Shelton, and Seth Andrews are all going to be there for the year anniversary. So we have a packed friggin' show ready to go. And
what are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing
for the show? What's going to happen? Are you raising money, or what's going on? Are we buying you a new Lexus?
No. We're raising money for recovering from religion. We have a $5,000 goal, and I really hope we can make that. I'll be posting the donate link up soon on my my Twitter, so you can follow me there. It's at YFN Atheist, and I'll be updating more information as it comes. The link is already up on YouTube, so you can go and set yourself a reminder to watch it live. But yeah, we've got a lot of great guests. We're going to be covering basically all the shows I had covered over the past year. So summarizing it into one night.
Holy crap. Well, I got to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I didn't do anything to say that, but I've been watching you, and you and I talked, toward the beginning of you getting this going, and you've just been so active and so positive in building community. I love it, and I want more people out there like you. So,
and it wouldn't be possible without people like you, Eric. You, V, Jenna Bell, Kenneth Leonard, Brainbug, Cindy Plaza, Hannah Vaughn. Like, all these people do so, and Puck as well. For those who don't know, dude, he does so much work behind the scenes. Like, there are so many people who have contributed to my channel and helped me out, and it's this community has been so welcoming. And in many years, 2020 saved my mental health, this community, because the day I called the show, Eric, was the day I had moved out of the house and my relationship, I had been with the same person for 12 years. So after I got off the phone with you guys, I was bawling my eyes out because I was just a complete wreck. 3 days later, I had to have surgery. Like, it was just rough.
Yeah.
And doing YouTube and getting welcomed by everyone and all the tremendous support, like, best name ever. Don't know what I would do without her.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
This community is awesome. And people like Eric V and Jenna, they are very supportive and they do what they can to help you. There are a lot of people that talk about, helping others, but they actually live by it. They help out. They do the work behind the scenes. And for that, I am tremendously grateful.
Just seeing people like you, man, that's the payoff. That's more than I ever could have asked for. So, all right, before we all get weepy, let's move on to our next caller because we have more callers. Damn it!
Are we taking line 5?
Let's take line 5, Min in California. Hey, Min.
What's up?
If Min will drop it. There we go. Hey, Min, you're talking to Eric and Heathen. What do you want to talk about today?
Hello, guys. So today I would love to discuss with you about how do you deal with, the hardship in life or, grief and sufferings from the secular humanist point of view. Because I don't see that a lot, in that philosophy. So I was curious, what would you do?
Well, I would cry probably, if I was grieving. I would.
Yeah.
I see, the thing is, grief is so different for all of us that the way we grieve, if I were to lay out what I thought the best way to grieve is, that would invalidate a lot of people. I think that a lot of deconverting, a lot of what I've gotten out of becoming an atheist is learning that, my grief and the grief of others is valid, and that the way they grieve is entirely unique to them, and it's wonderful, but it takes time and it hurts, and it can be benefited by others. Not always, but it helps. I think that one thing religion has and has had for a long time is a community. Being a part of that community can really, really help. They can be a bit of a safety net under you. And it doesn't mean that their beliefs are true, but it does mean that you have people there for people. When I was a religious person, we would bring, casseroles to people who had lost their jobs, families that were in hardship. And a big part of what we're pushing here is to grow and build those communities as well, because I don't think that just because you don't believe, you should be without a community, because you should. Everybody needs a place to belong.
Yeah.
Well, but I think the issue I see is that, it's not just the community, but I like what Johnny said when he put me on to the call, the metaphysical framework in religion will help. I'm not talking about Jordan Peterson here, but it's a really powerful framework to help you, I think, like, rewire your perspective so to motivate you to deal with difficulty in life.
See, I think it's actually detrimental.
That, very effective. Yeah.
I actually think it's the other way around. Were you listening into earlier callers?
Yes.
Okay, so that example of the idea you're going to get $1 million on Friday makes you feel good,
yeah.
Right? Makes you feel good, but when it doesn't happen, it sucks. I think that you have a lot of hollow promises made in the Bible, and I think that it can be incredibly detrimental. When you're talking about grief in particular, there are a lot of people who will, stifle their grief because they're convinced that they're going to get to see their loved ones again. Heathen talked about that earlier on the show. And when you do that, you don't get the chance to actually fully grieve. There are so many people who, after they move out of religion, have to grieve again. They need to say goodbye twice to their loved ones. And that is so incredibly painful and so fucking unnecessary.
It is. It's a crushing feeling when you lose someone and then you have to think about losing them again. But from my perspective, like, holy shit, appreciation of life changed so much when I became an atheist. I'm not saying atheism creates these other feelings. I'm just saying that's how my life improved, because I stopped worrying about something that could happen and started focusing on what did happen or is happening, and thinking about like, wow, I had these great memories with my brother. I need to hold on to these, not sit here waiting to see him again.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan, but the thing is, like what you said is, the afterlife thing, right? But I'm talking about like the here and now. I think that is where the wisdom in religion, or I would say, philosophy in religion, is really powerful when it helps people through that. And I myself have that in me, so that's why I deal with it. It's not about like where I'm going after I die, something like that. But
So let's keep that going. Let's analyze that. If I told people they were getting $1 million on Friday, I bet it would help them too. They'd feel real good, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
See, there you go. Why worry about making rent next week, or next month? Because you're getting $1 million on Friday. Gosh, I could help so many people.
Right.
Oh no, I'm actually making their lives worse because I'm feeding them a lie.
Well, Eric, if you don't mind, I would like to give you one example here, so maybe
Please,
you
go
can
ahead.
judge that and see if it helps or not. I wonder, so there is a story in Taoism. I don't know if you heard that story. There was a farmer who had a horse, and one day when the horse ran away, his son cried a lot, and the farmer's neighbor said, offer their condolences. They're sorry, and the farmer said, well, we'll see about that. And one day when the horse came back, she bring another horse with her, and together they gave birth to mares. And the son were very happy, so he played with the mare, and then he fell down from it, and then he got injured. And people offer condolences again. They say, I'm sorry about that. And he said, well, we'll see about that. And then one day the emperor of the village want to invade another village, so they want around to recruit healthy young men to build an army to invade another place.
Okay.
And because the son is injured, therefore he's not recruited, so therefore he's safe. And then the neighbors congratulate the farmer, and then he said, well, we see about that. So the point in that philosophy is that sometimes things look like that, but it's not necessarily be so. So you have to, if you can look at a different perspective, you can see that sometimes things can may be good, but not necessarily it's good, and vice versa. There may be blessing in disguise. Sometimes in misery there would be I guess you can say blessing.
Well,
So,
and I think that's a great thing to cause people to walk past where they can help and go, God's testing them, aren't they? I really don't need to help. I think, it sounds really nice. But the fact is, I'm not going to resort to lying to somebody to help them, because ultimately I need to respect the fact that they are able to, or at least give them the opportunity to understand the world around them. And just the idea, and I don't know if you're saying this, but I've had lots of people give that point. Well, religion, people should still be religious because it helps them. I disagree. And for those people who were comforted, because of their religion, I think community is fantastic. But I think if you're telling somebody that they're going to get to see their family again and you don't have any evidence to that, you are lying to them.
And I wish more people were accepting of the truth. To quote Wonder Woman, the truth is beautiful. And it can be at times hurt your feelings, but we should focus, in my opinion, as much as we can on truth and not believing bad things that we just want to believe. Or sorry,
untrue things.
Untrue things. Thank you.
Yeah, and that said, we back that up by wanting to make sure that we believe true things. We're constantly trying to analyze and disprove our own beliefs in things. We constantly investigate those because we don't want to fall back into those patterns.
Right.
It takes work. But Min, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, when religion hijack, the idea what I took is talk to you, and it's paint a picture about afterlife. It's pretty harmful. But I mean, other than that, I think it's really good, mental exercise to help people look at things from different angle, so they can cope with difficulties more productively. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, maybe in the short term, like I said, just because it would make someone feel good that I told them I was going to give them $1 million at the end of the week doesn't mean that it's right. But if you're talking about there are lots of places you can go with this. So if somebody's watching and they're thinking, wow, Eric's going to run up to a grieving widow and tell them that their husband is dead forever. Don't be an asshole.
Right.
Have conversations with people when they're ready to have them with you. Obviously don't be a jerk. But I just don't buy that I should let it slide. We should still keep pushing.
Yes. So Eric, so the last thing I want to ask you is, I know that you went through depression yourself.
Clinical depression. It never goes away. I wake up with it every morning and I go to sleep with it every night. What's up, bud?
So I mean, is it safe for me to assume that even though you have people around you who love you and support you, but
I can have the best day ever
by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, it's something you have to deal with by yourself. You have to mentally frame your mind somehow to cope with it, right? And that's not something everyone can help. So that's why I think, this is where,
but give them the opportunity.
Religious parable coming to help, Yeah.
I understand, but I at least want to give them the opportunity because I don't think that I have the right to make a decision for them. I don't want to disinclude someone from the conversation because I think they're too dumb to get it, or that, the lie would be more important to them. That said, if you want to know how I get up in the morning, I remember something really simple, man. I'm not that special. And I'm not so special that I'm not so unique that my depression is something other people don't go through. And I'm not so special that the mistake that I made yesterday that I can't stop thinking about, that I'm beating myself up about, my neighbors don't even know anything about it and their lives are not impacted by it. Right. I'm not so freaking special that it's changing the world. I have an opportunity. The relationship that didn't work out, you're not so special that was the one and they're gone forever. That is a beautiful, amazing thing. It's a relief to know that the world isn't hinging on your shoulders and you have to carry it with you. But the fact that you're building it, there's an absurdism that I deeply appreciate. But that's how I do it. That's not how everybody has to, but that's what I do.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you so much for taking my call, Eric. Thank you, Heathen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care, man.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, that was good. It felt like it actually, it didn't have a hard, like a weird end. It was a nice round call.
Right. And kind of going off what you said a moment ago about making sure someone's prepared to engage and engaging at their level and being a charitable listener. That is so important. And I kind of compare these conversations I have to martial arts. And here's what I mean. I did not have the necessary critical thinking skills to understand what fallacies, bad arguments or things like that were. I didn't know. Now, if someone, say, comes into the gym and they want to, hey, try Muay Thai out. Well, if I immediately just start attacking them with punch after punch after punch, they don't know what hit them. It's kind of crappy. So what I do is I recognize, okay, they may not have these skills. So I need to take them and walk them through from step A through B through C through D. It's just try and be as compassionate as you can when engaging with people, and respect their triggers or things they don't want to talk about.
Agreed. I just saw a message in the live chat that I kind of want to call out. Hannah Vaughn, one of your co-hosts and one of my roommates, is someone who I deeply appreciate. Hannah, we love you. And I think that that's something else that we should do. If you haven't called somebody to tell them that you appreciate them today, you should do that. Tell them you love them. It doesn't cost a lot, and it can be so incredibly meaningful for the people around you.
Yes.
Let them know what they mean to you.
I try and do that like on Facebook. Like I'll randomly send messages to people, hey, I'm thinking about you. How you doing? Because
you do that. Yes, I've received a message from you before. Yes.
You never know when someone's having a bad day or when they're at their worst. So it's important to just show people you care. The smallest acts of kindness go a long way.
Agreed. Ethan, I know that there's a hard stop at 3 because we don't want to run into the nonprofits time, but we have a really, really active community that really wants to talk to us. And so I really want to go to the Discord soon. So that said, can we see our crew? Because our crew is amazing. Hello, everyone. Oh, you're welcome. So he says, thanks, Eric, this week. But last week, if you look on AXP, he burned an effigy of me. Thank you so much. It is your work. It is your amazing volunteering behind the scenes that is making this happen. We could not do this without you. And I want to thank you so much for also Dan Earls. Happy birthday, man. We're sending you love. And with that said, Ethan, can you help me put up some love rings?
Yeah, wait. Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2.
Wait.
Oh,
can I do it like a Kamehameha Dragon Ball Z? Like
you do if you do it from the other direction, because that's where the love rings come up. Yeah, perfect.
This
Ready?
direction? Okay.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Ha! Oh, that worked!
All right. So we put out the call for people who want to support Black Nonbelievers, and we have raised almost $900 during this show from a whole bunch of people, tons and tons of people who wanted to kick in and go, you know what, we support the cause. Mandisa, we love you, and we hope everything works out. Thank you all. Thank you. While you're watching this right now, you better write down that Discord at tiny.cc. tiny.cc/ACA Discord. That is the link to join us on Discord. We're going there in just a few minutes. So for those of you, whether you believe or not, sorry. Well, hold on. Whether you believe or not, if you're putting yourself in harm's way, things are getting rough. But if you are a medical professional, if you're delivering food, if you're stocking grocery shelves, if you're an essential worker that is putting yourself in danger so that you can keep society running, whether you believe or not, thank you. You're doing your job, and we're doing ours by limiting our social interactions, by wearing a mask. Fatigue is real, and we're so close. The vaccine is out. We're going to get through this together, you guys.
Hell yeah.
For those of you who don't believe, this is your community. Ethan, you can speak to that.
Dude, this community has been great. Like, there's as much hard work as I put in, it would not be possible with all the people behind the scenes sharing and talking to me and educating me, like Kenneth Leonard and Puck. They spend so much time trying to help me learn as much as I can. And it's dude, this community just rocks. It really does.
It really does. For those of you who just found us, welcome. We're glad you made it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know how to end this, right?
I think so. For those who don't, wait, hang on. For those of you who don't believe,
who do believe, we don't hate you. We just think you're wrong.
You're wrong.
See you next week. Ethan, you did great.
Oh, wow. That was
good. You did it. I wish I could give you a hug. That is excellent, man. You killed it.